Hi, everyone, and welcome to Gentle Movement for Friday. I hope everyone's had a great week and has enjoyed the classes this week, and just want to say welcome, and we're so glad you're here, and it's a great thing you're doing for yourself to take the time to be here. I'll just go through my little housekeeping pieces. So I'm Jen from Pain BC, and I'm joined by Neil Pearson. Neil's back today, which is terrific. We are recording the session. You can find it on our YouTube channel. You can also find it on our Facebook page in our videos. We're going to launch a poll at the end of this. Please just take a few minutes and tell us what you thought. And if you need any technical help or have questions of a technical nature, put them in the chat or email education@painbc. We'll have a chance after the movement session to ask Neil any questions. So if you do have questions for Neil, you can send them in the chat to me or in the Q&A. Next week, we've got 3 sessions, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Neil is doing 2, and then we'll be joined on Wednesday by physiotherapist Allison Ezet. If you have a look on our website, we've got lots of resources and supports for people living with pain, including online support and wellness groups. And we've got a webinar happening on Monday with psychologist Dr. Angie G from Vancouver General Transitional Pain Clinic. And she is just a terrific presenter. I had the chance to see her earlier this week do a presentation, and she was really fantastic. I think you'll enjoy her presentation, so hope to see you there. Without further ado, Neil.
Thanks, Jen.
Over to you.
And welcome everyone to the class. So as with all these classes, what we want you to do is to stay safe. And we've had some questions come in about whether it's right to continue to do these movements based on certain issues that happen with the body. And I think that there's sort of 2 things that we want to talk about. One is that there may be times when you want to reach out to a healthcare professional who can give you a guidance to say whether this is the right thing to do at this point, or whether right now that particular movement would be something that isn't the best thing to do. So there's that piece, and I'm happy to hear that a lot of, especially physical therapists, are actually back online doing telehealth now, so you can always reach out there. The other thing that we've been focusing on a little bit, if you've been to some of these other, listened to some of these other classes, is the idea of paying attention to internal messages. So the idea that pain is something that we believe has to do with a protection response, and we don't believe that pain is the only way our body tries to protect us. So that if we're doing something that may be too much, it's possible that we could feel pain when we're doing that, or it's possible that another protection mechanism could be that your breath starts to get really tight, or that your body tension starts, like you feel your shoulders coming up, or your hands tightening, or your throat tightening. Or it could be that something starts to shift in your thoughts or your emotions. You might find even some gripping kind of thing there. And so as you're working through these, there may be some things that are best to do or not to do based on the specific condition, which of course we can't run through all that here. But if you're wondering otherwise what to do, we're asking you to consider this idea of, as you move into new movements, to ask yourself, does this feel safe? Do I feel like I'll be okay later? And to do your best to keep your breath calm and your body tension low, and still pay a little bit of attention to the pain as well. So we're actually asking you to pay attention to your pain, your breath, your body tension, and what's happening in your mind in terms of, does it feel safe? Do you feel you'll be okay later? So I know that's a lot to pay attention to, but I'll continue to try to guide you, and the other instructors will guide you in similar language so that you can do things that will help you to move with more ease. So for today, we're going to start seated, then we're going to move into standing postures. And the postures are going to be more about, or the movements are going to be more from standing today. There's a number of them that you'll see are easy to do from a seated position. You can do some of them, but not all of them are possible to do from a seated position, except through imagery. So or I shouldn't say except through imagery, you could do them with imagery from a seated position. So once we get to standing, I'll mention a few things you could do while you're seated, but otherwise, if standing is not something that you're able to do today, work on imagery during that time. So I'm hoping that you'll start in a place where you can sit with a little bit of length in your spine and just let your hands rest in your lap or wherever they feel comfortable. Let your shoulders rest a little bit, let your face rest. You'll need to keep your ears and your mind down a bit, but see if you can sort of calm that a little bit. And so start with attention to your breath. Notice your breath right now. You might notice the sound of your breath, the feeling of the air moving in and out through your nostrils. You might notice your body moving while you're breathing. As best you can, take your attention to the sensations of your breath. If you can for now, you don't need to try to change it, just let it be. If there's something that you really want to do change, go ahead and do it. The same with where you're sitting. If you're feeling like, oh, I didn't find the right spot, go ahead and shift around, find that just right spot. And we're going to move today fairly quickly from breath awareness into a breath regulation technique. So what I'd like you to focus on now is extending your exhale a bit longer. So each time you breathe out a bit longer, just a bit longer than you just were, right? So not longer every breath, just a bit longer than you were. So maybe you're breathing in for 2 beats and you're breathing out for 3 or 4. Or maybe the natural breathing in takes you 4 or 5 seconds and you're extending your exhale to be even longer than that. The idea is just to slow down the pace of your exhale and make it last longer. If you start to lose your breath, just let this go, catch your breath again, and then come on back in again. If you feel you need to shift around at all, go ahead and do it. So you're breathing in a natural way. You're not trying to change that very much. But as you breathe out, you're just making it last longer. So slowing it down, extending that exhale. Trying to find that spot that feels like a nice length of it. So we know that when we breathe out longer, what we're actually doing during the exhale is we're calming down our physiology, moving away from that fight flight into that calmer space. And of course, remember that when you're doing this, just like the movements, if it's not feeling like it's serving you today, let it go. Don't keep on doing this if you're feeling like it's actually agitating things. We're hoping that as you continue to do this, every time you feel that exhale just a bit longer, you can find a little bit more calmness, maybe in your muscles, maybe in your breath, maybe in your mind. But we want to play a little bit with this extended exhale now. As you breathe out, what I'd like you to do is to create a sensation that as you're breathing out into your hands and your arms. So you're still doing that natural inhale, but as you breathe out, you're extending it, making it last longer, but you're creating the sensation that you're almost exhaling like out through your arms and your hands. Of course, you can't do that. It's about creating a sensation. And when you're doing this, you'll probably feel like the inhale is happening around your torso, but then the exhale is happening out in your arms and your hands. And maybe it would feel better to have your palms up as you're doing this, or maybe having your hands down, or maybe you're having your hands together. You can choose where the best place is for you for today. Now switch that extended exhale from the sensation around your arms to a sensation of your legs and your feet. As you breathe out that longer, slower exhale, create a sensation that the feeling of the exhale is happening down through your thighs, your knees, your calves, your shins, your ankles, your feet, your toes. Then see if you can do the same thing around your hips and your pelvis and your lower back and abdomen. So down here, see if as you breathe out, you can create that sensation of releasing, like your extended exhale, your lengthened exhale. You're feeling it around hips, pelvis, low back. trying to find some softness. Not like you're trying to push the breath in there. You're just feeling that exhale happening in that part of your body. And then switch again. If you're okay with it, take your attention up to your neck and your head. And as you breathe out, create a sensation that your exhale is sort of happening more in your neck and your head and your face. Now, while you do this, I want you to add one more piece. You can feel that inhale coming into your torso and your chest, and the extended exhale happening more in your head and your neck. At the same time as you're doing that, feel your feet on the floor. So divide your attention just a little bit more now. You can feel your feet, you can feel your breath, you feel that extended exhale and the sensation happening in your neck and head and face. Great. Now, hopefully, if you continue with this, it still felt good. If you have continued, just pause for a moment. Sort of let your breath go, shift your body around. We're going to move up to a standing position now. So I'm going to leave the chair here because we're going to need it again a little bit later. So I'll just have it here. So if you can stand beside your chair, if you're there. So now that you're in a standing position, again, what I'd like you to do is feel your feet on the floor and then come back to that extended exhale again. So you feel the breath coming in, whatever number of beats feels the right number of beats, and then you breathe out a bit longer than your inhale. So while you do this, you're feeling your breath, you're feeling your feet on the floor. Now I'd like you to take your attention to your body and actually engage the muscles of your body a bit. So engage the muscles of your legs like you're trying to make your legs a bit longer. So not like they're super hard. It's like you're trying to just find a little bit of length in your legs. And each time you exhale, create a bit more length in your legs. And then add in your spine. Each time you exhale, create more length in your legs, create more length in your spine. So you're paying attention to a number of things again. You can feel your feet, you can feel the sensation of length in your spine, length in your legs, and you've got that extended exhale. And then turn your arms so your palms face towards the front of your body. If they don't go all the way, that's fine. Let your shoulders relax down a little bit. You still got that extended exhale. You're feeling that length in your legs and length in your spine. Create length in your arms. So engage the muscles of your arms a bit and your fingers a bit so you feel like you're making them longer. Creating that sensation that there's a little bit more length in there, but not gripping really hard. So you can feel your feet on the floor. You can feel this gentle inhale and this gentle but extended exhale. And each time you exhale, you're lengthening yourself, your legs, your spine, your arms, and now add in your neck and your head as if you're long all the way to the top. So it's like your body's reaching out just a bit, not with all your effort. And you're really focusing on extending that exhale. And as you breathe out, that's where you feel that gentle lengthening happening. But as you do this, you can feel your feet solid on the floor. Don't lose connection with that. Now remember, you can stop whenever you want to. So if you felt your body getting too tense or you felt like you needed to shift around, go ahead. If you're still working on this, just let it go for a moment. Maybe move your shoulders, move your neck, move your hips a little bit. Walk your feet a little bit if that feels good. So then we're going to come back to this again. So a little bit of that extended exhale again. Feel your feet on the floor. Create that gentle length of your arms, of your spine, of your legs, of your neck. And from that gentle sense of reaching. If you were here, remember last time we were talking about drawing in. So today we're doing almost the opposite of reaching out. So from that place of length in your legs and your spine and your neck and your arms and that extended exhale, what I'd like you to do this time is take your arms up. Now I think my hands are going to go to the screen, but if your hands do all go all the way up to the top, you're just going to touch your palms together and let your arms come on back down again. So just do this movement. Only lift your arms up as far as you feel it's right amount to go. Right? So if it's as far as you can go, that's fine. And if one arm doesn't go up as much as the other, what I'd say is just take both of them up as far as the one will go. So rather than ending up like this, just take them up to the spot where that's enough for one. So just do this movement. So it's like you're circling your arms out to the side, taking them up towards the sky. You're breathing in and out as you do this, But as you do the exhale part of your breath, you're reaching with your legs and your spine and your arms and your head, and then letting your arms back down again. You can certainly sync the movement with your breath, or you can just slow down the movement. Breathe in, breathe out and reach. Breathe in, breathe out and reach. Same as you come back down again. Remember, you can pause anytime you want. If your shoulders or neck or anything is saying that's enough, go ahead and pause. When your arms come on back down again, just let them rest. Give your shoulders a bit of a shake. Let go of the breath again. Let go of the movement again. And then let's come into a little bit more movement of the body. So for now, breathe whatever way you feel like you want to breathe. If you want to stay with the extended exhale, do that. If you just want to stay with noticing your breath, do that. Or any other breath pattern that you want, you go ahead and choose. If you're not sure, stay with the extended exhale so you don't have to worry about trying to figure out which breath to do. All right. So from here, what I'd like you to do is we're going to take our arms back up again. Now, if you say, I can't put my arms up and bring my hands together and hold them together, then what I'd like you to do is just have your arms at your sides, right? If you can, take your arms all the way up to the sky and intertwine your fingers together so your hands would be in that kind of a position. We jokingly say it's like the Charlie's Angels kind of position. Your arms are up there, your shoulders are down, your legs are long, your spine is long, and from here, we're going to move into a side bend and then keep on coming up. But as you do this movement from one side to the other, keep thinking about length. You can feel your feet solid on the floor, the length of your legs, the length of your spine, the length of your arms. And from that sensation of length, you're moving side to side while you still feel your feet. It's a lot to pay attention to. If you find it's too much, just pay attention to what you can. So your spine feels like it's long, your legs feel like they're long, your arms feel like they're long, and you're moving into the side bend. And you're stopping whenever you decide that's enough. If you're still moving, let your arms come on back down, give them a bit of a shake around again. And remember, as you do this, if you start to feel like you can't keep your breath flowing, if you start to feel like your body's getting too tense, then pause there. Don't need to wait for me. If you get to that spot where, say, your breath feels tight, one of the things you could do is just retry to see if you can breathe a little bit more calmly, right? And if you can't calm your breath, then it's time to pause or shift. So this time, what I want you to do is take your feet wider, a little bit wider than your hips if you can. Let your knees bend just a little bit. So don't have your knees sort of locked back in an extended position. Just find a little bit of softness. You can feel your feet on the floor. You're creating that length in your legs, the length in your spine, the length in your neck, the length in your arms. If it's okay to do it, take your arms straight out to the side or have them resting here or even on your hips. So you can choose which one of those you want to start with. I'm going to move into this position. So my shoulders relax down. I'm reaching with my arms and my hands. My knees are a little bit soft, but I'm still creating length in my legs and my spine. And I'm going to move into a rotation. So just go to the spot that feels like that's enough. And then come on back. Now I'm looking straight ahead, and you can certainly do that. You don't need to turn your neck while you're doing this. But you can, if you want to, let your head come around. So by keeping your knees a little bit bent, you're going to stop them from feeling really twisted. You're going to create a sensation of more ease in your knees if you do that. But as you do it, the spine is long, the arms are long, the legs are still reaching, and you're still breathing. You're paying attention to make sure you don't feel like that's enough. If it feels like it's not safe, or you're going to pay for this if you keep going on, then stop, pause, shift what you're doing. If you're still there, let your arms come on back down again. Give your shoulders a bit of a shake again, arms a bit of a shake. Bring your feet back together again. We're going to move the spine a little bit into a forward bend, a little bit in a back bend. So the movement this time will be to have your arms at your sides and just let your chin come down and let your spine round a bit, and then pull your shoulders back. Lift your head up a little bit, come into a little bit of back bend. So you can do an even smaller movement. You could just bend forward a little bit and then back a bit. And now once you get that movement though, come back to making sure you still feel your feet, you still feel the length of your legs, you still feel the length of your spine as you're going through this movement. So even as you're bending your spine forward and gently back, you can still feel your breath and the length of your body as you're doing it. So you're going to that just right spot. Sometimes we say that if you know you can smile, or if it's easy to smile while you're doing this, you're probably doing the right amount. If it's hard to put a smile on your face while you're doing this, then maybe you're pushing too hard. Or maybe you need to find some more calmness in your breath through your body. So once you get back to the center next time, just pause again. Move your legs around a little bit, move your hips, maybe circle them around a little bit just to release tension from standing up. And then we're going to do one more movement from here. So if you know that your body feels good to do a forward bend, you can do it just by bending forward. If you're not sure, you can put one hand on the chair, or you can put two hands on your chair, and you can bend so that you have the pressure of your hands on the chair. I'm going to just turn my chair around here to this position, which maybe you want to do. But what you could do is put both hands on the chair. You feel your feet on the floor. You feel the length of your legs, length of your spine. Feel your breath, that extended exhale, if that feels good. Hands can be on the chair, and then you can actually bow forward, like your hips are coming back and you're coming into a forward bend. Or if you know your back's okay with doing this, you can come into a forward bend and gently round your back, and then come on back up again. It's really important to use these movement guidelines. So ask yourself, does this feel safe? Do I feel like I'll be okay later? Can I keep my breath calm? Can I keep my body tension low? And what's happening with the pain? So if you know that it's fine to do this, we're just rolling your hands down your legs and coming back up again. Go ahead and do it that way. If you feel like you want to use the chair, if that's the better way to do it for you today, just go ahead, come down to that just right spot where you feel like it's enough, then come on back up again. However you're doing it, create that sensation of length in your legs, length in your spine. Find some softness in your breath, softness in your body while you're doing it. If you start to feel like this does not feel like the right thing to do, then pause for now. You can come back to this at another time. Now, if you're still doing that movement, now it's time to pause. Once again, just let your body relax. If it would be best to come back and have a seat back down, go ahead and have a seat in the chair. If you feel fine standing, stay in standing. Or maybe you need a little bit of a break. So you decide for yourself, right? Keep on making sure you're doing the right kind of challenge with this. Find the length in your legs again, the length in your spine again. Find a bit of length in your arms again. So this time, what you're going to do is you're going to step forward maybe a couple feet. So you're going to come into a bit of a lunge. So from here, you're going to bend your knees. I'll show you from the side in a sec, but you're just going to do this movement, then back up again. And so we're just going to do this a few times. Now you're trying to come down to that just right spot. You're still feeling length in your spine and length in your breath and length in your body as you do it. If you're feeling like that's enough, then pause. So the movement from the side, as the back heel is up, come here to make sure my heel's in the picture. Back heel is up, and you're just bending down this way and coming back up again. So how far down I go depends on what feels best for me today. Now bring your feet back together again. Once again, give your legs a bit of a shake if that feels good. And we'll try the same thing on the other side. So you can, I'm sure you can hear my breath is a little bit faster now that I did that. So you can watch that for yourself. I have the one foot forward, the other foot back. The back heel is up a little from the ground. Before you bend your knee, find your feet on the floor. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the length of your legs, length of your spine, a little bit of length in your arms, lengthen your exhale a little bit. And maybe as you exhale or maybe as you inhale, bend your knee, just come down to that just right spot, come back up again. Come down to that just right spot, come on back up again. And try one more time. Down you go, and back up again. Bring your feet back together, the chair's there. Just have a seat back in your chair just for a moment. Let the tension go. Let your breath come on back if your breath has gotten short. Actually, I'm a little surprised that my breath has gotten this short from this small movement. So we're going to try it again, but this time when we try it again, we will do it with, as you bend your leg, we're going to get you to lift your arms up and lift your arms back down again. So as you're coming into that little bit of a downward lunge or the squat from the lunge, you'll lift your arms up to the front and bring them back down again. Now I'm doing it 3 or 4 or 5 times each side. Remember, if 1 feels enough, do 1. If 2 feels like enough, do 2, right? The best thing for you to do is pay attention to the messages from inside. So come on back to standing again. Feel your feet. Feel that length of your legs, length of your spine. Step the first foot forward, whatever one you did before. The foot comes forward. Find that length of your spine, of your legs, of your breath, your arms. And this time, as you bend the front knee, take your arms up. And as you straighten the knee, bring your arms back down again. Just try that a few times. Now you got to pay attention to more things now, right? So you're paying attention to your knee and your feet and your spine and your shoulders and even your neck. Remember, pause when it feels like the right thing for you to do. Do your best to keep your breath calm and stay in that place where it feels like it's a safe thing to do. Bring your arms back down, your legs back together again. If you need to shift around, go ahead and do it. Or maybe you don't even need to, you just want to. We'll try the same thing on the other side. So the other foot's going to come forward, other foot back. Feel your feet first. Feel the length, breath, spine, legs, arms. As you bend that front knee, take your arms up. As you straighten the leg, bring your arms back down. Keep your breath flowing while you're doing it. If parts of your body start to grip or get tight, try to keep them as soft as you can while you do this. Now I'm just going to do one more, but it's okay if you pause. And then bring your feet back together again. Come on back to the chair one more time. And just let things release again. This is one of the important things to do as you're working on recovering movement, or if you've got ongoing pain, persisting pain. A lot of times as we're going through movement, it's great to pause, let things calm down, because you're going to provoke some of the pain with movement. What you want to learn about is, if I pause now, will that provocation or will that increase in the pain come back to where it was before? Sometimes what we do is we approach the movement and we just keep on going because that's how much we've decided to do today. And then we check in only at the end. And what we're trying to get get in the habit of by doing movement this way is to pause in the middle of it and stop and say, how am I doing now? How's my breath? How's my body tension? How's my pain? What's happening in my thoughts and my emotions? Using all of these as your own guides as to whether this is the right amount of movement today. And some of you may use your sense of energy, because after doing what we're doing here, if you're feeling like I'm using more energy for this than I should because I need to do this many things today, then maybe it's best to use that as one of your guides. So if you're in that seated position, feel your feet on the floor. Even though your knees are bent, create a little bit of length in your legs. Create some length in your spine, that your shoulders relax a little bit. Come back to that extended exhale again. Slow down your exhale. Just make it last longer, not so long that you run out of breath. And if you do run out of breath, pause, catch your breath again, come back again. And the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to come back to standing, but you absolutely can do this from a seated position. So from a standing position, remember you can put your hand on that chair or anything you want for balance. You feel your feet on the floor. Stay with that extended exhale if that feels good. But while you do this, you can feel your breath. You can feel your feet on the floor. Create a sensation that that your head is getting lighter on your neck. So feel your feet on the floor. Feel that breath. Create a sensation that your head is gently lighter on your neck. Stay with your feet. Stay with your breath. Create the sensation that your neck is lighter on your upper back. You can feel your feet solid on the floor. You can feel the sensations of your breath. create a sensation that your upper back is lighter on your mid back. You can feel your feet on the floor. You can still feel your breath all the way through the inhale, all the way through the exhale. Create a sensation that your mid back is lighter on your lower back. Feel your breath, feel your feet. Create a sensation that your lower back is lighter on your pelvis. Feel your breath and feel your feet, and create a sensation that your pelvis is lighter on your hips. Keep dividing your attention so you can feel your feet and you can feel your breath and you can feel the sensation of your thighs becoming lighter on your knees. Your feet are solid on the floor. You're following your breath all the way through inhale and exhale. Create a sensation that your lower legs are lighter on your ankles. And you can still feel the sensations of your breath, and you can still feel the sensations of your feet on the floor. Create a sensation that your feet are a bit lighter on the floor. And for the next few breaths, see if you can stay with the sensation of lightness. You're connected to the floor, you're connected to your breath, and your body feels lighter. If for any reason you're feeling like your head is you're getting a lightheadedness from this, or you're feeling like you're losing your balance from this, sit back down or put your hand back on the chair, because sometimes that can happen until we can really feel our breath and our feet well. But otherwise, if you're feeling that sense of lightness in your feet and your breath, stay with it for a couple more breaths. And as you stay with that, roll your arms so your palms are facing the front of your body, and take your arms out to the side and up. If you can, take them all the way up to the sky so your palms touch, and then bring them back down again. If that's not the right thing for you today, if it's not serving you to take your arms up that high, then don't. Just take them to where it feels good. And you're creating the sensation of lightness still in your body. You're feeling that sensation of lightness in your body. You still feel your feet on the floor. You still feel your breath, and you're feeling the sensation of your arms coming up and your arms coming down. Remember, you can pause anytime you want. Stay with your feet. Stay with the sensation of your breath and the gentle movement of your body. See if you can maintain that sensation that your body is lighter. Sometimes when we have ongoing pain, it just feels like our body is so tight or condensed or heavy. And this can help sometimes with us to move with more ease. So if you need to pause now, pause. Move your shoulders around a little bit, but stay with your feet, stay with your breath. See if you can stay with that sensation of gentle lightness through your body while we just do a few more things. So you've got that sensation of lightness again. I'm going to get you to step the first foot forward again like you did before into that sort of gentle lunge. But as you're standing here, both heels are on the floor, right? So you haven't bent your knees yet. Both heels are on the floor. And from here, we're going to just take our arms back up again and bring our arms back down. So this time your arms are going to the front. You feel your breath. You feel the length of your body, the lightness of your body. You take your arms up and see if you can keep your breath going. Keep divided attention between feet and breath and that gentle movement of your arms. Now we've done a lot of arm movements, so if you're feeling like that's enough, maybe don't lift them so high. If it's feeling okay, stay with it. When your arms come down next time, let them rest. Step your feet back together again. Remember, it's okay to move around or stretch any way you want to. It's okay to have a seat back in the chair for a while. If that feels like it's enough, then go there. Maybe you just need a break and then come on back again. You get to choose that. I know it's a lot to try to do movement and choose what you're going to do, but that's part of the solution here. So try the other way. So your other foot's forward, your other foot's back. Both feet are solid on the floor. You're not bending your knees this time. You're creating that sense of lightness still. You still feel lightness in your body. You feel your feet on the floor, and you can feel your breath. Extended exhale if that still feels good. Do all that and move your arms up to just right amount and bring your arms back down again. Great. on asking yourself about, does this feel okay? Does this feel safe? Will I be okay later? What's happening in my breath? What's happening with my body tension? Even though you're creating that sensation of lightness, maybe your body tension is increasing. Maybe the pain is increasing and it's time to stop. Or maybe the best thing is keep your breath flowing a bit more. So if your arms are still moving, let them rest. Bring your feet back together again. We're just going to do one more thing from standing, and this is a bit more challenging. So if your balance is a little bit off, you want to have that chair right beside you so you can put your hand down. So you're going to have the first foot you put forward again, the other foot back again. And we're going to add in this time, as you come down into that gentle lunge, which will pick up your back heel. So as you come into the lunge, your back heel is going to come up. But as you do that movement, you're going to take your arms to the sides this time. So before you do that, hopefully you can still feel that sensation of lightness in your body. You can still feel your foot, you can still feel, or your feet, you can still feel your breath. And then as you do that extended exhale, you bend the front knee, you take your arms out to the side, and you come down. So it may feel a little tippy to the side, and so if you do, put your hand on the chair to the side, and you can take your other arm up as you come into the lunge. Whatever would feel best for you. If you're okay with this, stay with this. Remember, you can pause, you can modify, you could stop bending your knee and taking your arms out to the side. So many things you can do with this, but try to create that sensation of lightness still, or stay with that sensation of lightness while you take your arms out. And if you feel like you can do one more challenge, either stay with what you're doing or pause, or if you want to do one more challenge, this time come down, take your arms out, and from here, create that sensation of lightness still, or feel that lightness. Feel your feet on the floor. You're going to side bend just a bit and come back to the center. Challenge for your balance. Side bend the other side. Keep your breath flowing. Feel your feet, feel your breath. Create that sensation of lightness still. Great. Let your arms come down, straighten your legs back up, bring your legs together. Check in. You know you're going to do the other side, or you're thinking about doing the other side. Maybe it'd be best to have a seat for a moment. Maybe best to stand and pause and reconnect with that sensation of lightness, the feet on your floor, the length of your spine. If you feel like it's okay to move into the other side, then start with your legs, put the other foot forward. Remember, you're going to be lifting that back heel up. So you can bend your knees down and your arms come out to the side, and then the arms come down. Lifting your arms just to that just right spot. It's okay to use the chair. You can feel that lightness of your body, your feet on the floor, that extended exhale. Stay with this, or if you'd like more challenge, when you come down next time, pause there. Find your balance, find your breath, let yourself come into a bit of a side bend, back to the center, and then the other side. Hopefully you've got your hand on that chair if you know your balance is off. Maybe you just do a little bit of a side bend rather than a big one. Right? You get to choose how much of a challenge you want to do with this today. Ooh. Let your arms come on back down again. Bring your feet back together again. Great. So reconnect with your breath. Reconnect with that sensation of lightness and your feet on the floor. So if you did lose your balance in the middle of that, like I did right at the end, often what we say is, well, that means you're trying hard. I think I got distracted in the middle of it, but it could be that for you, you got distracted and you lost your balance, or maybe that was a good challenge for you. So whenever you're doing any of these balance postures, make sure that you've got your, either you have something beside you or you feel like this is the right challenge for you to do today. Soften your shoulders again. Give your body a bit of a shake. Relax around your face. It should get you to come back into the seated in your chair. So once you come back to a seated position, feel your feet solid on the floor again. Feel that gentle length of your spine. Let your shoulders relax down. Soften around your eyes, soften around your ears, soften around your jaw and your tongue. Come back to the extended exhale again. Breathe in, feel the breath through your torso. Breathe out, make your breath last longer. Do that while you feel your feet solid on the floor. Do that while you feel that sense of length of your spine and neck, softness in your shoulders. And while you're doing this, check in to see how you're feeling in your body. Those areas of your body where you tend to hold tension or there could be discomfort or pain, notice how they're doing right now. While you're feeling your feet on the floor and while you're feeling that extended exhale and length of your spine, notice what's happening in your thoughts right now. Besides thinking about doing those things, what else is going on? Or maybe there's the emotions there after doing a practice like this. Maybe there's thoughts or emotions that had to do with the challenge that you just did and what you'd like to do next time. So just notice those, and maybe there's an idea that you want to remember and you can sort of park it for a moment. And then come back to just feeling your breath and come back to feeling your body. Come back to noticing what's happening in your heart right now. Then let the extended exhale go. Just let your breath be. Notice what your breath is like when you let go of controlling it, when you let go of regulating it. So you're taking that quick one last scan through. How's your breath? How does your body feel? If there's pain or tension or discomfort, what's happening there? And what's happening in your mind? And what's happening in your heart? And maybe from all that, you can decide what you might do differently next time. Or maybe you've realized that there's a way you practiced today that worked well for you. And so you could hold on to that so you could do that again next time. So we're hoping that with even these more challenging movement practices that we'll still add in the relaxation, where we'll give you more challenge at times, because challenging our limitations is a good thing to do for the body, good thing to do with your mind to feel more confident. At the same time, we want you to do them in a way that's safe. So stay with these practices. We know that when you start to be able to move with more ease, that is one of the answers, one of the ways towards less pain, and one of the ways to living well again.
Hi, Neil. Thanks for
Hey,
that.
Jen.
I hope
Welcome.
everyone, yeah, that was great. Thank you. And thanks everyone for taking the time for your well-being and to work on your movement practice with us. I think it's really important. And I think it's just terrific that people are making the commitment to do this. I see a lot of familiar names every time we do this, and I just think that's just amazing what these folks that are coming all the time are doing for themselves. It's really neat.
It's great.
Yeah, so yeah, it is. It's really good. Okay, we got one question from Kim. Kim is asking, okay, this is actually a good question for everybody. So, there's lots of recorded videos now, right? I think we're on our 7th session. And so Kim's asking if she needs to do them in order. So Neil, you probably have an opinion on that, and then I might have an opinion on that. So you go first.
Okay. I guess I would say if you haven't done any of them yet, going to do the first two that we did, because they sort of focused on paying more attention to our breath and paying more attention to our body. That those two things are really helpful to do in all the other pieces. We haven't, at least from my point of view, we haven't intentionally made them a progression. I was thinking, today we did something that was a little bit more, going to take more balance, more energy, more effort, but there'll be times when we need to work on other things besides that. So that's what I would say.
Thanks. Yeah, and I would just add that Neil has been doing most of the instructing, but we've also had different instructors, and they're sort of bringing their own ideas to this practice. And so there's quite a lot of variability in what they have been presenting. And again, it's not in a kind of a progressive order. So for example, Sue Schellink, who Neil, you know very well, did a session for us yesterday, and that was our 6th session, but it was a very, very relaxing session. It was a very gentle session. And, you know, and so I just think probably if as you suggested, like those first 2 sessions, because there was a little bit of a progression that you had in mind when you did those, that would probably be a good place to start. And then you might just have to sample some of the rest and just see what you think.
Yeah, I think that's great. Jen, the one other thing I would add is for whenever we're watching a movement practice online, if we're not certain what we should do and we're not certain if it would be safe for us or if it's the right thing, if you have the opportunity to actually watch it first time, and that's actually, you know, if you're worried about safety, watch it first. You know, make some decisions. Like you can do it from a chair. You can imagine a lot of these things, and then make a decision on whether you're actually going to do that movement or not. It's a way to go. I know it's hard with a live session, but if you're in a live session and you're not sure, like we're saying, is imagine the movements and then come back next time with the decision of whether you do the movement.
Great, that's really good advice. And I just have to correct myself, because if you're looking in the library of stuff, I said that we're on session 7. Actually, this is session 8, and Sue's session yesterday was 7. So sorry about that. Okay. Okay, we've got one other. Oh, okay. This is a good question, Neil. Someone is asking, can they do several sessions in one day? Very ambitious.
So is that if the question is, can you? Of course you can. I think I really think that when we have, if it's a persistent pain issue, so if you have a persistent pain issue, we truly believe that, well, I shouldn't say we believe, people in pain have told us that the best approach is to challenge themselves every day, but also spend some time every day calming their nervous systems down and taking some breaks. So if you can find within these different videos, the ones that are more about sort of calming and other ones that are more of a challenge to you, that's even better to actually do those together in a day. But what we would really recommend is make a decision for yourself in terms of how much energy you have, how much you think you can challenge every day, and recognize that the people who succeed the best when pain persists tell us that the best plan is to every day do some challenges and do some things that calm things down and do some things to take breaks from pain. People who only spend time on challenging themselves often say that that wasn't working until they added those other pieces in. So hopefully that helps guide you as to how you might, if you decide to do more in a day, how you would put them together.
Thanks, Neil. And I just have a question related to that, because I've heard from people sometimes, from people in pain, that they might have a day where they feel really energetic, and you know, and then they do end up doing a ton, and maybe like push themselves past maybe too much, in fact, and then that sometimes precedes a day of more fatigue or you know, and I just wondered if maybe you could speak a little bit to that, just that pacing element.
Yeah, how much more we do really is something we need to try out, and so it makes more sense. You know, whether you have persistent pain or whether you're an athlete, when you want to do more, you have to try out doing a bit more, and then try some, you know, add a little bit of time. The wise approach is not to say, you know, I feel really great. I think I can double this up. That often is, as you said, Jen, that's when we find that we've gone too hard. So I really come back to the ideas of, you know, decide what you're doing right now. And if you're going to increase the challenge, I would really recommend that not only do you increase the challenge you're doing every day, but also increase the amount you're doing every day where you're recovering, taking breaks, and finding some respite from the pain as well.
Right. So it's a little bit of trying things out, and kind of responding based on how you're feeling, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And you know, if we borrow from the concussion rehab world, in that world we talk about the importance of provoking the symptoms, but then recovering. And so if you're doing more challenge and you're, you know, because as you do that, you're probably provoking some of the symptoms, what you need to make sure is that you pause and make sure you recover before you do more, right? Rather than just carrying on. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. All right, I don't think we have any more questions. Thanks to everyone again for coming and for all your positive comments, and I hope you found some value in that and are feeling great. And I wish all of you a really restful, peaceful weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Right.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, Jen. You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye for now.